like to see them. But again, a very, very high skill ceiling for those guys as they die in droves very, very rapidly. So what about the Orc army list? I'll go over the Orcs and you go over the Empire TPP.
Sure.
So, rock and roll. The Orc Empire list, the Orc battle list, the Orc army list, just a little bit atypical, but not so atypical that you've never seen anything like this before. We have 2 units of Orc Boarboy Biggins. We have, looks like 3 units of Black Orcs, as well as 3 units of Orc Biggins. That is the main line for their troops. They've also have 4 Goblin Wolf Riders for all of that sweet, sweet mobility. Maybe hoping to get back into any possible archers or some rear charges in on the rest of these Empire guys, but doesn't look like they have any range right now, so we'll see how useful those will be. Last but not least, though, outside of the HQ, by the way, which are Grimgore Ironhide and a single Goblin Shaman, is 2 of these Doom Divers. There is the interesting choice here from the Greenskin series to bring 2 Doom Divers into the field. Price will be increased with the next patch, but still very cheap now, still very effective if they can be protected. So we'll see how that goes for the Greenskins player. What do we have for the Empire?
Okay, so for the Empire, we have quite an interesting composition. We see up front here 6 great swords. Then we have 4 spearmen right behind them. So very solid infantry line with 6 great swords.
Very much so, yeah.
With 6 great swords, he might even be able to challenge the orcs in melee. We'll see. For the air composition, we have looks like an Empire captain and the light wizard on Pegasus, as well as the general of the Empire on the not Deathclaw, but it's like the Griffin.
Yep, just the regular old Griffin.
Yeah. In the back, we see an Empire Knight with an Outrider with grenade launcher, and here's a funny situation. This Wolf Rider right here, it's not hidden. I don't think it's hidden. No, it's not.
Yeah, it isn't hidden. It doesn't look like anybody knows what's going on back there, that nobody has decided to look. Yeah, and so, we see right from the get-go, by the way, the Empire Captain looking to cause a little bit of trouble back here. I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to do, but sure to delay probably the likes of these Wolf Riders, and if there is an opportunity to get into these Doom Divers, looks like right now the Orc player is actually allowing the Empire General to get an opportunity to sneak right on in there. Not exactly what the Orc player wants just yet.
But yeah. Oh, we see a hit on the General of the Empire, but the funny thing about this Wolf Rider over here is that actually it's in a good spot because you can't see it on the minimap. It's tucked in right at the edge, so you can't see the you can't see the unit. Like
yeah, he must
circle.
have no idea that they're there. Exactly. Yeah. Dude, if he actually goes into those Outriders, that'll be a very, very good matchup for him. He may lose eventually, but at least he'll get something done.
Oh, enough of Amentok on Doom Divers. Oh,
that's a very curious choice. I really don't know about that choice there. So the question is, does the net of Amentok prevent the Doom Divers from firing?
I am not sure, but that kind of feels like a waste, but it does work to his advantage because he couldn't get caught by cavalry, I guess.
Yeah, that is quite true. Yeah, but still, I do think it was a waste. I mean, what is that? That's a lot of mana, a lot of winds of magic being used, for the sake of not a lot of work, really, just one 800 thing unit taken down. And now this general is taking a huge beating. I mean, it looks like at this point that Amental was used to playing with Loen Leonka here, just charging in and getting that regen to help him out, but no regen for the Empire General.
Okay, he's dead. Maybe. No, he's actually outrunning the Cav because if he wasn't, he would be so screwed because he wouldn't be able to get out because the Cav models are pretty sturdy and won't let him pass.
Yeah, they're getting caught up right now, and GMT, you're quite right. Yeah, it was so the reinforcements couldn't go in there and help him out. The question was was all that winch of magic that was used there worth it to take care of that single Doom Diver? May have been. I think that it may have been a dangerous choice. Maybe Net of Amentok could have been used somewhere, but hey.
I mean, in this situation, it definitely didn't play out well for Empire because he traded more than half the HP on his general, so that's not really worth it.
Yeah, exactly. More than half the HP on the general for what was relatively, again, yeah, you killed the Doom Diver, but, at what cost, my friend? At what cost? By the way, it looks like relatively static so far. The Empire player is still kind of wandering around here, looking for an opening to get into that second Doom Diver, I have no doubt. In the meantime, though, the Greenskin Cavalry kind of just staying around, knowing that that's going to happen. Going to try to defend the back here by just wandering around back and forth, making sure that these Cavalry don't have a chance to get in. I mean, what do you think about that decision, though? I mean, this protection of the Doom Diver.
I mean, it's pretty good. The Orc Poor Boy Biggin will do very well against those units in the air for Empire, but in the meantime, we have an engagement over here, and it looks like the Outriders still fortunately didn't rout. They are very low on leadership, actually down to 10 leadership, so they could have routed, but they did get caught by the Wolf Riders. They took massive damage, but they're still on the field. Still makes them very inefficient though, because they're down from 30 men to down to 18.
Yeah, I mean, basically what's ended up happening... Oh, by the way, a rear charge on these greatswords here. A miss micro from our Empire player, just leaving his greatswords out in the open. The Orc Poor Boy Biggins get a nice rear charge on there, get a little bit of free damage. Yeah, you know, it's too bad, though. Yeah, that's half their ammo already gone from the Outriders. And, of course, these grenade launcher Outriders really need everybody they can get because it's the explosive damage that does the damage. And it does exponentially more damage as you have increased amount of shots firing again because because those grenades do splash.
So I'm not quite sure what's happening here, but the Light Wizard was targeting something with the magic missile. I'm not sure what exactly, though, because he hit the blob. He must have... I suppose like he fought at the Doom Diver.
Yeah, it looks like he might have been aiming it there at the Doom Divers, but managed to hit a bunch of the Orc Biggins as he was doing so.
Interesting choice, but not really sure if worth it. He should probably work on the Night Goblin Shaman or something, because could be far better for him.
Well, I mean, it seems to me right now, looking at this here, Agony Elemental is getting extremely caught up or held up on this idea of killing those Doom Divers. Really, I don't think they're that important. But he's getting very, very serious about taking them down. And also, you know, by putting so much attention on these Doom Divers, in a certain sense, is actually backfiring on him because it forces the Orcs to stay back, right? To defend this Doom Diver. Well, that only brings advantage to the Orcs because the Orcs is the one that has the artillery that can continually fire on the likes of the Empire. And so, you know, by stressing out the defense next to these Doom Divers, he's actually shooting himself in the foot. But that just makes sure that the Orcs stay back for as long as possible and continue pelting them.
I think his plan was to stay out of the range of the artillery, but clearly he got shot a few times. Now he's definitely not in range of the artillery because he's not getting shot at all. Sure. But as you can see, he took damage on like these two greatswords. He took damage on this other greatsword. And yeah, it's a little bit of damage, but this could mean a lot if they're facing up against, say, if they're facing up against Black Orcs, that'll make it so much easier for them to tear down the greatswords.
Every bit of damage counts, especially against the likes of the greatswords. Because that, yeah, like you said, I mean, that matchup is so even that you want as much help as you can get to make sure those greatswords go down. By the way, it looks like the Doom Diver trying to shoot this cavalry unit over here, getting a couple of guys down, just 2 guys dead. But now the Doom Diver, of course, switching targets here, looking like he's actually just going to fire at the ground directly in front of the greatswords. Look at this. This is fucking hilarious. I love it when the Doom Diver hits the ground. What happens is you get a goblin stuck in the ground with only his feet poking out. Absolutely hilarious. Good old Doom Divers.
He's missing a lot, though. And
yeah.
He's barely missed now.
It looks like, honestly, he might want to go into manual control for those Doom Divers. I mean, nothing else is really happening. Might as well give it a go. It also does look like, you know, those annoying little gnats of the Empire here, the Light Wizard and the that Empire General still hanging around. I mean, do you think this is reason enough just to get that one, like, value error boy?
Sorry, value error boy?
Yeah, just like an error boy that, by the way, in here, another shot at the Doom Divers. A value error boy being kind of like a, it was a concept that you kind of used back in the day in the tabletop, in that you just took one unit that really didn't have any real value in terms of like its strategic importance in the game and how you were going to win, but you just took them because they had value in many situations. And in this situation, if you had one airboy, these 2 knights or these 2 Pegasi would not be flying around above him.
That is true, but I mean, he already took 2 Doom Divers, so that's a lot of money spent into missile units.
That's true.
Really don't fare too well in melee, so yeah. Ooh, the Light Wizard.
Yeah, there we go, man. There it is. Like, there is the mistake with the decision to target the Doom Divers with your Light Wizard Stemspreading Gazes instead of the Goblin Shaman. He overcasts, get right into the Light Wizard, and just makes him a bloody, bloody mess on the ground. That poor Pegasus, man. That poor Pegasus.
Yeah, RNGesus with the Orcs here.
Yeah, exactly. That RNGesus is really coming into the fore. The Doom Divers, by the way, still doing some pretty decent damage, hitting the greatswords again and again. Again and again. And the Empire, I think, you know, to a certain extent here is like, hey, man, I mean, what do you think is going through the Empire's mind right now?
I mean, he's probably fairly frustrated. Not only did he was unable to take care of the Doom Diver, but he lost so much HP on his general. He lost a light wizard, and his general, yeah, it got hit once again by the Night Goblin Shaman like a couple of seconds ago.
Yeah.
So that was fairly frustrating. He basically lost what was like an Outriders unit with grenade launchers, or at least was. Now it's made very inefficient in combat, so I don't think he's feeling pretty good, especially as the Doom Diver keeps targeting the great swords, and those great swords move so slowly that the Doom Diver has plenty of time to keep shooting at them.
I mean, yeah, certainly, man. I mean, the Doom Divers, as you can see, are continuing to just pelt that single unit of great swords. Actually, no, it looks like he's going to pelt some different ones now. Actually, a very good idea here. You know, it's kind of a big decision. And actually, I want some feedback from you, TPP, on how you decide this. So there's two schools of thought as to how to use your artillery pieces, right? Or how to use your ranged. And that is A, to focus fire a single enemy unit until it's dead, or B, to weaken a bunch of units until they're just a little bit less combat effective. Which school of thought do you subscribe to?
I think I preferred the one where you just weaken enemy units, because it means you have, first of all, like if it's like full HP, the higher HP it has, the more models it has, the more damage you can do to it. And if you weaken them, that means you just end up winning more engagements than having like, okay, you have one certain engagement that you'll really win if you have like a unit that's on 10% HP or something, but then if you weaken multiple ones, then you'll have more engagements which you'll be able to win for sure. Okay, maybe not the exact same chance, like 90% chance of victory against that unit, but something like 60-70% or something.
Fair, fair. I mean, I think I will probably go on the same idea as you. And, you know, in tabletop, I was a huge proponent of, you know, killing off one unit wholly at a time so it doesn't bother you in the future. By the way, guys, as an interruption here, we do have the mainline battle finally panning out. The Empire have finally gotten to the Orcs. The Doom Diver, by the way, still getting work, still has gotten that veterancy now with 89 total kills. But here is the mainline fight now. Balak Orcs engaged with greatswords. And Spearman also kind of actually left to the side here, being unmicroed. Not exactly sure why that is going on right now, but they are looking for the flank, but the Goblins, of course, will try to stop them.
Yeah, well, the Spearman will definitely be able to get rid of them, and nice charge here by General of the Empire. He can definitely get rid of those Wolf Riders, so that's an effective trade for Empire. There we go. They are going to be routed, and they're shaken, but it doesn't say they're routed. Weird. Now he's going to go for a nice spear charge on the Orc Biggins. Should allow him to win this flank at least.
Yeah, this was actually very, very well done here. I mean, he's got a single unit of greatswords, as well as that spearman unit that are going to be totally freed up by this rear charge here. Not bad at all coming out of the Empire player. But it remains to be seen whether or not he can take care of the rest of this kind of snaking battle line here. Most of it he is losing rather handily. Does he have quite enough, do you think, to pull it out and kind of route the rest of these greenskin lines?
I don't think so. If you see, his Empire Captain is basically dead. I'm not quite sure what almost killed it. Probably the Shaman, so he's down to like his General, who's very low, so he could get sniped soon. But Grimgor is gonna get attacked right now by the General of the Empire. This could be big, but we see 2 units against 1, so this means the Griffin's splash attack will get split between 2 units, which means Grimgor will live a bit longer, and this might be enough.
Yeah, I mean, at this point right now, that guy really has to get out of the combat. I mean, the Shaman might have some more mana very, very soon, and that is going to be instant death for that Empire General if he gets back into it. And there it is, though. There it is. The Greenskins breaking the lines of the Empire, just sending them screaming off the field. Not a bad victory. Not a bad victory at all. Rather clean, as a matter of fact. I mean, what brought him the game, TPP? What are your primary factors?
It wasn't just clean. It was extremely decisive, I think. Like, look at the amount of units he has left at the end of the game. He has 2 almost full Black Orcs, and one Black Orc nearly dead, but some big ones in decent shape. He has the Shaman still. He still has Grimgor alive, and a full unit of Orc Boy Biggins still. And his Cav is in decent shape, so he has plenty of units left. He could almost fight another battle, essentially, with this army. But yeah, it was pretty decisive, and really it's because, his Doom Divers, as you can see, one of them got taken out in the beginning, which, still wasn't worth it, but at least it got taken out, which means it only got around 10 kills. But the other Doom Diver just really was super efficient in this game.
Yeah.
126 kills and mostly on greatswords, so it definitely paid for itself.
Yeah, got its money back. And I would also like to note here, just as just as a kind of a final bit here, and we talk about, the efficiency of units and, smart targeting and the like. I do think that Wolf Ulda kind of won this game, kind of due to his superior army composition, pulling the Agony Elemental out of line, kind of maybe tilting him a little bit. And then, last but not least, just having kind of more effective micro, not leaving a lot of guys just isolated and out, not doing nothing, I think really did bring Wolf Ulda the game. But also, we have to realize that he took an Empire General on a Griffin, something about 1,500 points or so. It took a Light Wizard, another 700, 1,000 points. And so we're talking about 3,000 points, by the way. He basically used up completely and totally to take out two Doom Divers, which he only killed one of. So he only got 800 points out of that. Um, I mean, that's you talk about inefficiency in trades right there. That was an extremely inefficient trade for him.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate. Like lots of units lost for Emmental, aka Panda Warrior, and he had like I I understood his game plan, but he also didn't play it quite right because his
Yeah,
plan was to take care of the Doom Divers in the beginning before his
right.
Great Swords got in range. He was unable to do that really, and not only
Hmm.
that, but even after he failed to do so, he still like took some shots from the Doom Diver before he actually engaged and before he was deciding
Yeah.
whether to engage or not. So he moved forward, he moved back a little bit, and then finally he moved forward. So the indecisiveness cost him a few extra shots from the Doom
Yeah.
Diver, which is why it has nearly 130 kills.
Yeah, yeah, and every extra shot from a Doom Diver, especially if it's going on your highly valued troops, is a tough thing to take. I mean, you don't want to just take multiple shots like that over and over again. Let's see, lobby is match. Okay, so